Good morning. Good morning. We hope everyone had a very restful and positive weekend. We are at it again. We're on another Monday. And as always, we're going to start our Mondays off very, very positive. That's what you come to expect from me, and that's what I'm going to deliver. But first, a few housekeeping things. Uh, just lately, there's a couple of things that has happened that we're pretty proud of. We had to rebuild our main desktop for the purposes of streaming, and we're still working out some of the kinks. After you move and you're in a new location and you break all your equipment down, when you come back, then now you have to figure out what you had in place in order to get everything right, right? Okay. So now, what we're going to talk about this morning on the surface level could be viewed as something very negative, something that perhaps could cause some turmoil in your life. But now, the way that we're going to look at it, as always, we're going to look at it from the positive. So now, look, I want to share a question that was asked, and it came up last night. So let's see if we can get it up and running. But the question was about damage. And a lot of times when we talk about damage, there are certain things that we have to take into consideration. So let's look at it first. Let me make sure I can get this question up for us. Okay, let's see. We're going to share Facebook. And there's the question. Let's get it a little bit larger. See if we can. All right, so now the question is, it originates with a group that I follow. And this is a group of women who really have devoted themselves to asking the tough questions and then amongst themselves trying to come up with some solutions. And if you are not familiar, the group name is A Table for Queens. I would advise you to go and subscribe and try to check out what it is that they're talking about. But now this was the question that was posed. The question is, do you think people are actually damaged so badly that they cannot accept love, or do you think others have made an excuse for them to accept the reasoning why they were unable to love them properly? So now that's a powerful question, don't you think? I think so. And so that's really what prompted uh, the discussion that we're going to have this morning. And I promise I'm not going to hold you long. So now, first of all, what does that term actually mean when you say that a person is damaged? Well, when I first heard the term, what I thought about is it has to be talking about a person who is emotionally unavailable. They're cold, they're distant, and really they don't want to share with individuals how they feel, and they don't care about how you feel. That's what I think about when I hear the word damage. Now, damage can come from a number of things. As you'll see in those comments, if you go and subscribe to their page, it can come in the form of abuse that may have happened earlier, but it all has to do with trauma. It's a trauma response. Individuals lock themselves away so that the hurt that they encountered in the past does not occur in the future. And that's understandable to a certain degree because all of us have gone through situations that we do not want to see again in the future. That's just the truth of it. But now, more specifically, to me, the question seems that maybe you have an individual, a man or a woman, and what they're doing is they're giving everything that they possibly can give in a certain situation. They're giving everything. Now, if it's, let's say, for instance, this is a lady and she is very feminine, so she's doing everything that she can think of to make the relationship work to keep it afloat. But she's not getting what she needs out of the relationship, or he's not getting what he needs out of the relationship because their partner is emotionally unavailable. See, if you're emotionally unavailable, that means that your thought process is not on how to reinforce, build, strengthen, you know, take positive things and input them into your relationship. If you're emotionally unavailable, your main focus is yourself, you. Because as I mentioned, you're more concerned with not being hurt like you were in the past. So it's more of a selfish thing to do. But because of the fact that we're human beings and we don't like pain, we don't like difficulty, we don't like trouble, then that's one of our responses. So now, what is something that a person can do? Either the person who is in a relationship with someone that's emotionally unavailable, or the person themselves who is unavailable. Well, I thought long and hard about this. I see Coretta's in here. Hey, Coretta, Tanisha, how y'all doing? I thought long and hard about this question, and this is one of the things that I came up with. In this situation, both individuals need to be willing to do the work. So, what does that mean? On both sides, an individual needs to define for themselves what love means. What does love look like to you? And that's a big task, because now I'll be honest with you, especially in our community, a lot of us didn't grow up seeing healthy relationships that employed love. We didn't see that. A lot of us were born in single parent homes, and so the balance between the man and the woman was not something that we saw. So it's difficult to pinpoint something, to look at something and say, okay, this is what this is, if you've never seen it before. Now, of course, there are many descriptions of what love is. You have an expansive description in the Bible. You have Webster Dictionary. You have all of these resources that you can go to, and they will define love for you. But in this particular instance, it would be better if you saw it, because if you saw it, and then you could clearly identify what it was. And see, that's an obstacle. That's an obstacle, because a lot of the damage that we see or that we think is based upon the fact that an individual has never seen love in action. They don't know what it is. They don't know what it is. And a lot of individuals who don't know what love is, I think it would be difficult, or I think it would be something that would take a lot on their part to go and explore and try to figure out what it means to them and how it looks to them. Now, why am I pushing that? Being able to identify what love is. Because if you're able to identify what it is, then now you have a goal in mind. Because it's easy for people to say, okay, I don't want that. I don't want that. I don't want to be loved this way. I don't want to be loved that way. That's easy to do, because that identifies hurt. That identifies possible issues. You're able to fully grasp those. You're able to say, okay, I don't want to be treated this way. But then, have you ever thought about how do you want to be treated? Have you ever sat down and took a pen and some paper and said, from a positive viewpoint, what it is you think love should look like? And then after you made that list, why not go back and look at that list and make sure that the things that you have on your list are reasonable? Is this something I can reasonably expect from someone? And if it is something that's reasonable, am I willing to give what I need to give in order to get the things on this list? See, now you're goal oriented. Now you're coming at things with good faith, and you're being reasonable. And usually things that are reasonable are not a problem for individuals who really care about you to give you. So now, what else does it do? Well, after you've defined what love looks like to you, then now you're able to clearly see the red flags, because you know how you want to be loved. You know how it looks. So you're able to see the red flags in individuals who approach you to become part of your life. You're able to say, okay, hey, that's not what I like. I can't identify with that. I can't allow that to come into my life. And so you're able to see the red flags, and you're able to dodge them. You're able to move out of the way, right? And then as a consequence of being able to see those red flags clearly, then you begin to pick better. Because now let's just be honest now for a minute. Let's take some accountability. A lot of the times, the difficult relationships, the difficult friendships that we have are as a result of people we chose. Now, if you know that this individual has a reputation of not being the most trustworthy individual, why would you enter into a friendship with this person? Or if you know that the reputation for this person is being promiscuous, why would you enter into a relationship with this person and try to change them from what they've been? See, it's all about choosing better, taking responsibility for the choices that you can make, because that's your power. That's your power in this situation. Your power is in choice. And you exert that power when you choose wisely. See, we don't want you to end up in a situation where you get burned. That's not what this is about. If you have to deal with someone who's damaged, you want that individual to be resolved to try to figure out what's going on with them and to try to resolve it so that they can focus on the relationship between you two. Because that's what we're talking about. We're talking about relationships, either a relationship that'll end in marriage or a relationship that'll end in a lasting friendship. Those are the things we're talking about. So both parties have to be geared toward maintaining the relationship. If they're not, then one person can't maintain the relationship. That's not a friendship. Now, what is the next thing? After you've seen what it is that you don't want, and you're aware of the things that you do want, now you have a goal in mind, and you can work toward that goal. The goal is having the things that you need while avoiding the things that you don't need. Is it that simple? I know I'm oversimplifying it a bit, but that's just what would be common sense, right? Now, of course, let's just be honest, as we always have to do, because in order to be an individual who's well balanced, you have to be honest, okay? There are going to be difficult circumstances that come in. What's going on, cuz? Charlie Carr in the building. There are going to be difficult circumstances that come up, but your ability to deal with the things that you go through, your ability to diagnose what you want and what you don't want, and to choose to follow the path to get you to the things that you want is going to be difficult. Because being positive, going in a positive direction is difficult because you live in a world where there are so many people that are geared toward keeping you from that. They don't want to see you do good. They don't want to see things line up for you. And so it's necessary to understand that there's going to be some difficulty, but is it worth it? In the end, is it worth looking at that list, being reasonable, being realistic, and then putting in the work to get the things on your list? Now, is that a solution that will produce the right outcome? Absolutely. And everything in life, there has to be preparation, and this is part of your preparation. If you employ these particular things that I'm asking you to do, you'll most definitely end up with the right result because you're focusing on the positive things that you want out of life. You're avoiding the negative things that could come up. And then this kind of mindset will allow you to be emotionally available to those around you that love you. So you're able to grow as a person. You're able to take on characteristics in the future that may help you in life. You learn to be more patient. You learn to be more selfless. You learn to be more giving. These are qualities that will help individuals to get along with you. And if there's ever a situation where you fall into difficulty because of the fact that you cultivated these qualities and you're positive, individuals are going to come to your aid. They're going to make sure you're okay. They're going to make sure that what you need is there at your disposal. Okay? So that was just my thought for this morning. We do deal with individuals who are damaged. But like I always say, it is the responsibility of every adult, no matter who this adult is, no matter where they came from, it is the responsibility of each and every adult to address the issues that they have. We have to work through those things because it's not fair for us to take our damage and then impose it on someone else. Why not work those things out within yourself so when you present yourself to an individual who you want to include in your life, you're presenting a happy and a healthy version of yourself? Well, those are my thoughts for this morning, man. I'm going to stop preaching because I got people calling me. But as always, man, I hope the week is wonderful for you all. I hope everything goes well, and I hope that you're able to maintain your positivity because sometimes that's hard. Well, as always, man, please come back again next week. We'll have another topic that we'll discuss, and we'll try to navigate how we can continue to be positive despite the difficulties that we have to face. It's okay. Everyone faces them. But now, as I mentioned, your power is in what you choose to do. All right. Love y'all. Y'all be easy. Peace.